Let me transfer you.
Switch to Farm Bureau Insurance today and get real service instead of getting really tangled up. For auto, home, life, and health, get the membership advantage. Get Farm Bureau Insurance.
Just could be coincidence. I don't know. I mean, with this game being, a big game every year, I think by going on the road to an opponent stadium, you just want to win. You want to shut down, any momentum they have at their place. Anytime they're crowding into it, you want to make them silent. So, I mean, anytime you're on the road, you want to play as hard as you can, always.
I can follow up. Was that loss in any way, shape, or form helpful? Obviously, you haven't lost since.
I think that loss was helpful. I mean, anytime you suffer a loss like that, you never want to feel that feeling again. And, after that game last year, we did go on to not lose a game since. So, I mean, by playing JMU and that being a type of rival game and losing like that, it's going to leave a mark on you. It's going to leave a mark on your team. So we knew that we didn't want to have that feeling for the rest of the year, and we ultimately didn't.
Patrick, do you guys have twice the work, knowing that A, they play two quarterbacks, and B, they're not really sure about either one of them right now?
I mean, obviously, when you play a team who has the threat of bringing two very capable and very good quarterbacks at you, you have to be worried about stopping one more person. And what we've been trying to focus on is just worrying about our assignments, doing what we do. And we know that both their quarterbacks are great athletes, great players, are very capable of making plays. And we're just trying to go into the game and make sure that we're technique sound, and that'll give us the best advantage to stop what they're going to bring at us.
Is there a big difference between the two of them from what you've seen? I know Thorpe is only a freshman and Dudzik has been in the program for a while, but is there big differences between the two? Honestly,
when you watch them on film, they're not that different. They're both very capable quarterbacks. They both can throw the ball. They both can move around the pocket. And they don't have exactly similar styles, but I wouldn't say that there's a huge, big difference between the two of them to where one's going to be better at beating you in a certain area. I think they're both very capable at beating us in the pass game and in the run game. So I don't think they differ so much in that way.
Kevin, has this become a bigger rivalry than William & Mary?
In my opinion, since I've been here, I would say that the JMU game is sort of bigger than William & Mary. But anytime you play, a team that's in your conference and in the state of Virginia, it's always going to be a big game. But I think the JMU game definitely brings more tension than William & Mary.
Patrick, same thing as Kevin. What do you remember about your feeling when Scotty McGee crossed the goal line, and then what has that inspiration been like for the past 364 days come Saturday?
I mean, obviously that's something in football that you don't ever really want to experience. You don't want to be on the losing end of a play like that. But Coach preaches about, new season, new opportunities, new games every week. So we try and forget about what happened last year. But obviously, I think with last year's game and that happening, in football especially, overcoming adversity helps out your team a lot because you have so few games a year. You only have 11 or 12 guaranteed games, whereas in other sports you may get to play and have more opportunities. So I think a loss like that is going to teach you a lot about your team and how you're going to move on with the season. So something like that, I feel like last year, with us going on, winning the national championship, and the success that we had, we did a good job at overcoming that adversity, coming together as a team, playing for each other, and using that to move forward in the future.
That was sort of a messy time. You were 4-3, is that right, after that game? What changed?
Honestly, the one thing I remember after that game is we had a players and captains meeting only with no coaches. And we kind of just sat in the room and it was a little silent at first, and then everyone kind of just looked around and said, well, what are we going to do? We realized that if we lost one more game, there was no playoffs, no chance of a national championship. And I think the mentality kind of switched. People realized, all right, well, we do this every day. We love football. We play football, and this is real. And if we're not going to come in every day and give it our best effort, well, then what are we out here playing for? So I think the mentality did switch a little bit after that game, realizing that if we're not perfect throughout the rest of the season, then everything's kind of lost. And I think that mentality has carried over into this season, knowing that every week we need to come in and play our best if we want to have the success that our team wants to have.
Good answer.
Kevin, I guess you're going to get asked this all 4 years, but so is Eric McBride and so is Griff Yancey. Is there more special meaning because at one point you might have been in purple and gold instead of red and blue, and he might have been the opposite, and the same with Eric?
I think it's interesting knowing that, if, a couple key decisions, in the recruiting process, I could have been in the gold and purple, or Griff could have been in red, white, and blue, but I think I've made the right decision. I'm happy where I am. I wouldn't change it for anything, and hopefully Griff, has made the right decision for to benefit his future. But I played against him in high school, and it's going to be interesting playing against him in college again. Now that he's on defense, also, so it'll be a little interesting once we intertwine out there.